Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Fallout 4 Mods Weekly, the show where we take a look at some of the cool and interesting mods that come out in the past week for Fallout 4. Now, this week, again, we do have a pretty good majority of weapon mods, but there's also a pretty cool quest mod complete with voice acting and a new custom settlement, so stay tuned for that as well. When it comes to the weapons this week, we've got a pretty good variety too, so there definitely is some really cool stuff to showcase, as well as a sort of blast from the past. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in with the first mod, which is the Tankgewehr 1918 by Nova Finch. This is going to add a brand new anti-tank rifle into the game. This mod has been in development for quite a while, and it is finally released, complete with a beautiful custom new weapon with custom animations done by Subleader and Cadaver, and I have to say, I'm a big fan of this thing. This is a huge rifle with tons of customization, as it is a Nova mod, including some really goofy options like snub barrels, shields, and some overly extended barrels, and also some more practical options as well. There's even some tactical options for those of you who do like more modern attachments on your weapons. If you want to get your hands on one of these gigantic rifles, it is actually added to the level list and can be found out in the world on Gunners. You can also craft it at the chemistry station. This weapon does add a couple of new custom ammo types that are exclusive to this rifle, though it does have some vanilla rechambers as well over at the weapons workbench, including 50 cal and of course some oversized shotgun shells. This weapon boasts some incredible damage at over 800 with perks, but at the cost of only being able to fire one bullet at a time. And if you're in third person, it will actually cause your character to take a little bit of damage and stagger back every time you fire the weapon. One thing I really like about this weapon is it actually has a built-in ballistic shield that is compatible with Bingle's shield framework, so it actually will function and protect you from bullets if bullets hit the shield with that framework enabled. Before we move on to the next mod, let's go ahead and check out the custom animations for this mod. They're absolutely beautiful. And really quick, I'll go ahead and show off the third-person animations as well, and show you that stagger effect that gets applied when you fire this weapon.
Gah! Broken.
Now, the next mod we're checking out is known as the Vintage Shotgun, or the Winchester 1897 by Pig, as part of his Another Millennia project. This is of course going to take assets from Millennia and Another Millennia, as well as a few other authors, and make a brand new shotgun for you to use in Fallout 4. This is going to be a pump-action trench gun, complete with custom animations and bullet-counted reload support. This thing does come with a good bit of customization over at the weapons workbench, and it is added to the leveled lists. So if you want to find this thing, it will start spawning out in the world after level 10, pretty much everywhere you'd expect to see it. That includes raiders, gunners, and even the Minutemen. On top of that, you even have a chance of finding a custom bayonet specific for this rifle. You can use it as a standalone melee weapon, or you can attach it to the gun at a weapons workbench. This weapon makes a perfect lore-friendly addition to the game, and it even comes with a couple of uniques that can be found out in the world. The first of the uniques is known as the Panic Attack and is a direct reference to TF2, and you can pick this one up over at the armory inside of the Minutemen Castle. The other unique included in this mod is known as the Trench Sweeper, and it has the ability to slam fire. So if you hold the trigger, you will continuously fire this weapon at a very high speed. And you can pick this one up in the surrounding town outside of Fort Hagen. As a little hint, it's behind a red building and it's being held by a dead soldier. Altogether, this is yet another wonderful port by Pig, more of Millennia's awesome weapons to see in Fallout 4. Can't wait to see what the next one is. And as usual, let's go ahead and check out the custom animations before we move on. Now, the next mod we're checking out is the quest mod I was talking about, and that's known as Into the Room by Dietplums. This mod adds a brand new quest, an interesting new location, as well as some puzzles to be solved, a new settlement, as well as a full team of voice actors to add a lot of character to this mod.
Processing. Incorrect. Your password is not password. That would be completely dumb and irresponsible.
The mod begins whenever you check out your radio section on your Pip-Boy, and you will see a new broadcast offering some pretty interesting rewards. Once you've listened to the broadcast, a new quest will pop up, and if you follow the location marked by that quest, you will find a new building that wasn't there in the vanilla game. Once you head here, you'll find a new character named Ricky who will offer you the chance to earn quite a bit of treasure by entering the building. All you have to do is pay a measly fee of 2,500 caps. If you take the deal and head inside, you'll quickly realize you've been double-crossed and a whole lot of gas will enter the room and put you asleep. When you awake, you'll find yourself in a very bizarre area. And this is where the puzzle begins. There's a series of doors and some hints hidden around the room, and I'm not going to give you the answer on how to solve it here, but just be aware to pay attention and look at everything in the room. Once you do figure out the solution, you'll wake up from the VR simulation and you'll have free access to move around the facility. Be aware though, the robots will soon turn hostile and you'll have to fight some pretty heavily armored targets before you're finally able to escape. As you make your way to the end of the dungeon, you will find the owner of this facility, and it will be up to you to determine whether or not you want to take them out or listen to what they have to say, though if you do, you will be rewarded with a brand new settlement. The settlement is completely interior, though it does have a fast travel icon that you can go to directly, which is pretty nice, and if you exit, you'll pop out right on the surface. Altogether, this is a pretty cool little quest mod. It's not super long, but it is a good bit of fun and it adds a nice reward in the form of a custom settlement. One that happens to be particularly roomy for an underground bunker, so I think that's something that some people may appreciate. This is a fun little quest and definitely adds a teensy bit more gameplay and ambiance to the world in an area that was pretty empty in the base game, so it's one that I would recommend trying out for yourself. Now moving back to weapon mods, we have a cool melee weapon worth checking out, and that is the classic Super Sledge by WJS97. Now really quick, this isn't actually a new mod, but rather one that was only brought to my attention recently. This thing came out all the way back in 2017 and somehow I've never seen it. It is a really cool rendition of the Super Sledge, combining the Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas style with the classic Fallout 1 and 2 style, and I think it's really cool. It also comes with a ton of modifications over at the weapons workbench that are all super unique and offer their own quirks and advantages. For example, a stop side that has a chance to disarm enemies, and a shock attachment that will not only add electrical damage, but also have the chance of sending out an EMP blast that will stun robots. And even some very crazy Fallout-y attachments like some giant bottle caps that when you kill enemies will cause them to explode into a rain of caps, much like the perk. While some of these attachments may be a little bit goofy, they are definitely very Fallout, and I have to say, I like them a lot. Another nice feature of this mod is that it is added to the level list and will start spawning out in the world after level 10 on enemies who use melee weapons, and that includes super mutants, which is a nice feature. On top of that, there is even a unique version of this weapon that you can find, which is the Oh Baby variant from New Vegas, and you can find this one in the glowing sea at the Forgotten Church. If you're a fan of melee weapons or just a fan of classic weapons from Fallout, this is definitely one I'd recommend trying out, and it's definitely a nice little gem that I was not aware of at all, so thanks to Alexarator for showing this one to me. And finally, that leaves the last weapon mod this week, which is the Heavy Support Weapons Pack by Micalov. That's right, yet another Micalov weapon, and in this case, we actually get 3 weapons. They're all pretty much variants of the same thing, but they are slightly different from each other. The Heavy Weapons Support Pack adds 3 new heavy weapons based on cryolator animations. One of them is a laser rifle, one is a Gauss rifle, and one is a plasma rifle. All offer fully automatic versions that sling their different projectiles at high rates of fire, with insane magazine capacities. It's essentially a handheld minigun, but for all of the energy weapons in the game. I know the Gauss rifle isn't technically an energy weapon, but it's always treated that way in Fallout, so it gets to join the party with the lasers and plasmas. Now, these massive weapons aren't just for you, they actually spawn on enemies as well, as they are added to the level list, specifically the Brotherhood of Steel after level 25. So in the late game, you're definitely going to want to side with the Brotherhood, or else you're going to be fighting a whole lot of these. As always, this is some excellent work by Micalov, and I really enjoy the recolor of the cryolator and all of the cryolator parts. This definitely looks like a really lore-friendly heavy weapon, and I have to say I like it a lot, especially the Gauss version. That one might be my favorite in this little pack here. Each of these has very minor customization over at the weapons workbench, but they don't really need it. They already perform pretty well without any attachments. With that though, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up today's video. Lots of really cool mods this week. If you want to try any of them out, they will all be linked down in the description below as always, as well as any Xbox links if there are any available. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to drop a rating. It really helps out the channel, and consider subscribing if you haven't already for more videos just like this. As always, a big shout out to all of my patrons, and a very special thank you to Jeremy Briggs, Backbone Danny, Freedom, Glasma, Damien, Indecisive Wolf, Logan Rigmaiden, Lord Toast, Microhan, Oscar, Scott, Sterling, Timmy76, Youth RC, and Voider for joining that Tier 3 Patreon membership. If you'd like to support the channel over on Patreon, you can do so using the link down in the description, but it is completely optional. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace!